All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Courtney Ware. I'm a Dallas filmmaker, and I am here to moderate the comedy shorts block with the Women Texas Film Festival. Obviously, with everything going on, we're on this virtual live Zoom thing, so it's a little different. So thank you to all of the filmmakers for joining us. And I don't know about you guys, I've got sweatpants on, so that's kind of nice to be able to be relaxing. But yeah, I just wanted to start by having everyone introduce themselves and tell me what your project is and what your role is. And then if you can give me just a little bit about, just a quick little sentence or so about your film, just in case anyone hasn't had a chance to watch them yet. So Mariah, we'll start with you because you're first in my little grid. So go for it.
I'm Mariah Hall. Bryan Taira is my director, but he can't get his audio worked out, so I will be doing all the talking today and he can like mimic along. Our film was out of stock. I was the producer and he was the director, and it's about the original toilet paper crisis that happened back in 1973.
Perfect, awesome. And Karolina, why don't you go next?
Hi, I'm Karolina Kraus. I'm from Ireland, and I'm the director and writer of Expiry Date. In original title is Dáta in Irish. It's a little short film about a guy whose date pretty much doesn't go to plan as he goes to a pharmacy to pick up a few little essentials that he needs to get ready for his date.
So, all right, and Ashley, how about you?
I'm Ashley Jordyn. I'm the writer, producer, and an actor in The Session, and I'll let Morgane do the logline.
Okay, cool. So Morgane, go for it. Oh, you're muted, by the way.
Thank you.
There you go.
So I directed that movie that Ashley and Alexei wrote and produced. It's a movie about an encounter in an S&M dungeon where a wannabe mistress, it's her first time, meets a very a client that is here a lot and he's submissive, and so it's their way of connecting together and of helping out each other in that weird environment.
Awesome. And Bryan, I guess just wave so we can't hear you. There you are. So you are the director, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for introducing yourselves. So I wanted to start in, I guess we can just go one at a time, but I wanted to start with just how the films came about. You know, I think a few of these were based on true life stories. And so, yeah, so tell us a little bit about where the idea came from and whatnot. So Mariah, let's go with you first.
So about 4 years ago, my dad was just telling stories from the 70s because that's my favorite time period. And he brought up this toilet paper crisis. And I'm like, Dad, there's no way that there was a toilet paper crisis that happened. Like, that's the most ridiculous idea ever. Like, looking back, not so ridiculous. I thought he was just product of the times, like he was just foggy and couldn't remember it right. But I looked it up and it was true. And I thought it was the funniest thing ever that a toilet paper crisis happened. So I pitched it to Bryan and he was like, yeah, let's make a movie about toilet paper. So that's how that started. And little did we know we'd live through one right as we were releasing it.
Yeah, I think that was my first thought was, did this idea come before everything that happened, or did you?
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, that's
crazy. 4 years ago, and we worked on it for the last like 2 years, pretty much.
Got it. Wow, that's
way before.
I mean, yeah, you guys were basically like, it was a prophetic film. You know, you told the future. So
yep. Some people say that we caused the current toilet paper shortage by the amount of toilet paper we bought for our movie.
Awesome. Yep. I would. Yeah, we'll blame you. All right. So, Karolina, tell us a little bit about Expiry Date and where that idea came from.
The idea actually came from over. it was just me and my husband were sitting at breakfast, and we're just talking about our past a little bit, just kind of, you know, just as you do, like, and an idea just came to my head, thinking how funny it would have been kind of to see your own husband kind of fail to get a date before you even met. as awful and mean it sounds. And so we decided to agree that no one's going to be judgmental of each other, and we're just going to write a little short. And so then he actually starred in it as the character who failed to get a date. So it was a little kind of a imaginative idea of what could have happened, and might have as well happened to someone in real life. Like, you know, you hear stories from other people how they got embarrassed and how dates didn't happen, or how they did happen but they wish they never did, like, you know. So it was pretty much an idea, what imagined idea, what could have happened to us in a way, and it wouldn't have ended the same way.
Awesome. Cool. And then yeah, Ashley and Morgan, I don't know which one wants to take it, but where did the concept and the idea come from?
I was part of a writers group, and we sort of got a prompt for staged plays, that little short stage plays that they were going to put up, and wrote a play that then I worked with Morgan on a film that she did, and I was looking to make something myself. So I was like, hey, how about this? And she was like, yeah, let's do it. And then I'll let her.
Actually, yeah, you showed me another script, and on another story, and then she mentioned this one, like, very little, like, we were at a bar and she's like, oh, and also I wrote that one, and I was like, what is this? It looks so weird, I want to do that one. The story made me feel made me fall in love right away, because it was very genuine, and it was so unexpected in such an environment that I felt connected to what she wrote straight away.
That's awesome. Yeah, genuine. I think that's that's a perfect way to describe the feeling of watching that short. So something that I was struck by with all of you guys' shorts were the locations. And so, like, without a stock, not only I know how hard it is to shoot in a grocery store, but then to make it also period specific. And to shoot in a pharmacy that I'm assuming it was working. And then I have no idea where you guys shot the session, because it was so beautiful. So I just want to have you guys talk a little bit about how you found your location, and maybe if you guys ran into any difficulties, because you guys set yourselves up for very difficult things based on these locations. So we can go in a different order. We can just keep going in the same order. It's up to you guys. Just going to keep going in the same order. All right, so Mariah, go for it.
Yeah, so we didn't realize how hard it would be to track down a 1970s grocery store before we started. We never tried before, so there was only one in our entire county that looked right. So like a couple weeks before we started shooting, we finally convinced them to let us film there. But they wouldn't close down the store completely. So we were just filming while this grocery store was open, like in between little ladies like trying to hunt for produce. And it was a period piece. Like, we tore the store completely down because none of the products looked period. So we'd have to like direct customers where we moved all their items. And there's a scene where it's like completely in chaos. We literally just like threw rolls of toilet paper around this store, and it took us so long to have to clean it up again. But it was really fun to like navigate having an open grocery store while we were filming this insane chaos scene. But
oh man, so where did you guys shoot? Where are you based?
California, Southern California.
Got it. So yeah, because not only it's like all of the details, and Bryan, I wish that we could have you speak into that, but yeah, not only the details of the layers of the background, but I can't imagine having to deal with like, were there any people that walked in, like customers, and saw all the toilet paper strewn everywhere that just, got freaked out and turned around and left?
Oh yeah, yeah, lots of people walked in, saw just the store torn apart, and then just literally would like walk back out. And then a couple were like, "Hey, can we be in this?" So it was really cute. It was fun to interact with both, watch people turn around and leave, and also have people excited about what we were doing.
Amazing. That's so awesome. And Karolina, so you had sort of a similar thing of shooting in a pharmacy. So were you guys able to shut it down, or was it working at the same time?
It's a working pharmacy, but we're very lucky that it's it's closed on Sundays, and well, nobody would really come any kind of mind it unless Sunday open it up for us. But this lovely man down the village, he opened it up for us, and he was doing his admin day in there. So like while he was kind of stuck in a tiny little cubicle doing his paperwork, and like he was literally in a meter by meter type of a little thing, like while we were trying to do sound and all the camera, like he literally took over all the space he normally would have had for himself. But it was really kind of him and all, and so we managed to get it all done. But there was a couple of people who thought that exceptionally today the pharmacy's open and they'd come up to the door and try and buy something. So we had to put out cones right in front and a big tape just and sometimes send someone out just to kind of excuse us. But it was a nice experience, like, and people just like, what do you mean you're making a film? Like, what? It's a pharmacy, like, for God's sake, like, but it was impossible to kind of build the set because it really wouldn't look the part, like, but I think the funny thing was that in the morning of the film, we actually spent a good hour just turning all the products the other way, just not to show the brand. And it just took so much time out of the actual filming. The filming took about 4 hours, but it would be, like an hour chunk out of that, just turning products around. And only we had permissions from Durex to show that. So we had all the Durex facing in and everything else facing away. But everybody helped out, all came together.
Man. Yeah. So did you already have a relationship with the owner of the pharmacy, or did you just have to come in and pitch it? And
we thankfully knew him from before. We happened to live pretty much nearby, so we did use the pharmacy before, and we'd still pick up things. It's just 5 kilometers away from our place, so it was really handy that way.
That's awesome. All right, so Ashley and Morgan, tell us, was this a set? Was this a location? It was so beautiful. Tell us, beautiful in how contrasty and dungeon-esque it was. So tell us more about the location.
Yeah, it was a dungeon. We shot on location in a real dungeon. We looked at several, but that was the different rooms, different themes, and we wanted it sort of like as cold and sterile an environment as possible, while still being a dungeon. So yeah, that was the one that we chose, and so it was already, everything was there and set and ready to use.
That's amazing. And I saw, so you guys shot in New York?
Mm-hmm.
So talk about, what was that relationship like? Did you guys just went to a bunch of different options, and tell me more.
Yeah, we went and looked at a few. Morgan, you wanna?
Yeah, sure. We explored a lot of options, and we also tried. For 1 second we thought maybe we could do it ourselves. It would be easier, and it was. Then Ashley found this one, and it was perfect. It was also in activity when we were shooting. It was not convenient.
Oh yes.
Underground, so we had to kill the AC because of the sound. So it was absolutely hot. It was a very small room full of mirrors, as you might have seen.
On every surface.
Oh my gosh.
We had 2 rooms. We had 2 rooms we were allowed into, and if we wanted to go from one to the other, we had to shout to the mistresses to ask permission. Everybody was very obedient. When they said no, we would stay in our little room. And so we were like trapped, at least 10 people in the room all of the time, super hot, hiding behind the cameras because of the mirrors. It was the worst location you could ever find, but it was perfect and beautiful, and we were very happy about it.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, it shows up on screen, but oh man, that sounds wonderful and awful all at the same time. That's incredible. So were you guys able to shoot in just one day?
Was it 3 or 2? 3. It was over like 3 full 10 to 12-hour days.
Yeah. Well, yeah, with all of the mirrors and whatnot, I can imagine that just slows everything down.
We luckily we got in like a few days before, so our DP could like look at the room, and they could Morgane could have conversation with Stefano. But I think the first shot that we like tried to put up, it was like a 2-hour setup before we even went for a take because of the mirrors. But once they figured it out, after that, that was the first one. Like, where do we hide? Because there's nowhere to hide. Everything is a reflective surface. But once they did figure it out, then we moved pretty quick after that.
Awesome. That's awesome. All right. So, sorry.
No, sorry. I was going to say, the DP is Stefano Forlini, and he worked miracles with the mirrors.
That's amazing. Yeah, and mirrors are a nightmare. So we got an audience question. So this person said, I loved the store manager's power trip in Out of Stock. How did you come up with that character arc?
I wish Bryan could speak to this more because he was.
Hello?
What?
Can you hear me? Okay, I put headphones in. Maybe that would work.
Okay, you can take that one then.
Hello, hi. Wait, what was the question again? His power trip?
Yeah, so how did you come up with the character arc of the manager's power trip?
Well, Mariah and I really developed this together, and we just kind of wanted at least it to escalate to a point of complete insanity. I think when you're dealing with something as like silly as a toilet paper crisis, you want it to get to that point where it's taken as serious as possible. And I think, I don't know, it was just kind of funny to have someone go crazy. We modeled him after Mr. Krabs a bit, so from SpongeBob.
Excellent.
So it was just natural to have him be as insane as possible and get to that point.
That's awesome. Yeah. So, Mariah, did you guys co-wrote it, or did you? How was that process?
We worked very closely with a couple writers. Because it was my idea in the beginning, but then I just had the idea to do the movie about the toilet paper shortage. Like I didn't have anything besides that when I pitched it to Bryan. This is a funny thing that happened. Let's do something with it. So we really came up with the story together, and then worked with writers to get it fine-tuned and written.
Awesome. That's so great. So my next question, short films, of course, have so many constraints on them. Also dealing with comedy, there's always things that you're having to deal with. Was there anything that surprised you guys about the process, or was something that you weren't expecting or didn't plan for, or one of those little moments of magic that happen on set? Can you guys talk about something along those lines? So Karolina, we'll start with you. Oh, there you go.
In Expiry Date, we had a little moment of improvisation, which we didn't actually plan for. That kind of varied a little bit from the original script, but it was just the moment of ending. In the original script, we had the lady pharmacist standing at the counter, quite of a surprised, slightly disgusted kind of a look on her face as the man was leaving without his condoms, of course. But and it was actually our director of photography, which has been absolutely fantastic, which he just came up with an idea. Why doesn't she just put them in her pocket? Like, she's gonna use them. Like, why just give up? If not with him, then with someone else. And it was just such a nice little kind of little gem in it, like that I think kind of made it. And then from that, I think actually that's what made the film the best for me. She puts them in a pocket, and we have this judgmental face on the male pharmacist, where he's just like, oh, the absolute whatever she is. And it made it on set, and like we had to take a couple of takes of that because we were just all breaking laughing. So it was just it was one of the few things that really stand out that did actually just happen on set, kind of naturally, with a bit of an imagination from someone else on set. Because, like, you know, when you're writing it, then you come to producing it, you have a certain vision, and it's nice when someone else can put something into the basket and it all comes together really nicely.
Absolutely, that's awesome. Ashley and Morgan, anything surprising happened on set?
I was in a blackout. I don't know. Ask more. I also catered for everything, so I was very tired. I'm no.
Oh yeah.
No, yeah, something does come in mind, but it's not these kind of surprises. It's more like working with Ashley. We rehearsed a lot, and so it's like this kind of actor who is like a Stradivarius. You know, she will never give you twice the same thing, so you don't really know what you're gonna get on. You know it's gonna be right, but you don't know the flavor that the final take of that moment is gonna be. And so on set, there was this moment that was really intense and important for the movie. It was the finish, and her performance made the crew kind of shaky. You know, like the atmosphere of the set went like like really like deep. And that was very, like, for me, it stayed like a movie making experience that was so unexpected and that I didn't know before, and that was really strong. Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
That's awesome. All right, Mariah and Bryan, anything interesting happen?
I don't know if you have anything to say, but I thought one shot in particular I thought was like required so much coordination from everyone involved, and I'm surprised it turned out the way it did. But it was one of the last shots in the film. Spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen it, but it's basically when our main character Julie, after she revolts against her boss and leaves the store, she like storms out with a roll of toilet paper in her hand, and in the script she throws the toilet paper back into the store through like the small crack in the door. And we're trying to do it at sunset, so we only had a limited amount of time to shoot that shot, and she just couldn't get it through the door, and it just seems so off that like that's something her character would do. And I think it was Ray, our actress. I think she was like, this just feels so wrong. What if I just drop it and walk off? So we had her do a take like that, and it ended up being amazingly perfect. And then our DP, as we were shooting it, he then pans down to the fallen toilet paper, and we ended our movie on that. And it was just crazy how like something like that could end up being the thing that we end our film on. And it was just so different from everything else we had scripted. So it was really cool that it ended up in our film that way.
That's amazing, because I remember seeing that, and it was so perfectly framed, and it was sitting up straight with the little piece blowing in the wind. So
once it felt like I was sitting right next to the DP, and he was just like tapping me on the shoulder. He was like, I gotta pan down. I was like, yeah, do it. And so I'm really glad it worked out that way.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
I have an add-on that didn't happen during the filming of ours, but it was actually, I was during some of the screenings that we've been in, especially in like a live performance, not performance, but like a theater, not like on Zoom,
right,
where people are viewing it on a big screen all together. Is I was struck, like this will Morgan and our editor, it's so uncomfortable when you start, like everyone, you can feel the whole room go, oh God, what are we about to watch? And then very shortly, like, it, you know, we break tension. And then it actually, I guess we planned it, but I don't really remember having a conversation about it. It takes you through what is sort of like a session, a BDSM session is like, which is you're uncomfortable, and that person's job is to push you past limits. And it's not like just like a big shove. It's like in these little increments. And so by the
Right.
end, we have the audience on board with, at the beginning, they would never have gone on that journey with us, but we've taken them there. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, this is getting weirder and weirder and weirder, but like, we're here for it. And we had one screening where it's like a mostly older audience, and a woman came up and she was like, I hated it. And she goes, and then she's like, I loved it. Like the commentary we got back from people you wouldn't have like expected to have been like, I really liked your film, was because it's weird. I mean, it's uncomfortable. And then tension breaks and you're like, oh, okay, good. Oh God, what are they doing? That was
Yeah,
surprising to me, to like the feedback that we got.
yeah, sort of the meta aspect of it, of
Yeah.
the journey of the audience going on the similar
Right.
journey of the characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always when that happens. It's such a magical moment. So that's great.
I didn't plan that.
Take credit for it. It's all good. So obviously we're a bunch of filmmakers talking about a film screening on Zoom. Everything's crazy. So we can't not talk about the fact that COVID has changed all of our intentions for how we watch these films and whatnot. So I just wanted to see and ask you guys, as short filmmakers, you know, how have things changed? Have you guys started production on any other shorts? You know, I just kind of want to talk a little bit about how you guys are doing with everything that's going crazy. So yeah, Mariah and Bryan, why don't you guys start?
Well, I've kind of gotten out of the production world. This is our senior thesis film at for Chapman University, and I didn't really have any interest in producing after, so I work in streaming now. So I don't know if I love to buy films and I love to support filmmakers that are up and coming, but I don't personally want to do that anymore. So this is my like one and done. But we're having fun playing. Yeah, we're having fun playing virtual festivals. It's been really fun. It's a bummer that it couldn't be on a high note with like in person, because we wanted to visit a lot, but this is really great too. I've loved that film festivals have adapted, and we march on with it.
Yeah, definitely.
Bryan?
It's a bit of a bummer that we couldn't go and see all these films at these festivals and travel and stuff, but I kind of like the Zoom experience. Like you said, I'm in my pajamas too. It's nice. I love it. But at least for me, it's like, we just graduated. I wasn't really planning on doing anything anyway. So it's like early retirement. Maybe eventually I'll get back into it. I'm starting to write, but other than that, it's kind of, I'm just relaxing.
Got it. Awesome. Karolina?
We've been stuck since sometime in March. We just got the full lockdown, and there's so much housework to be done, and I just procrastinated a lot. I just couldn't face it, didn't want to do it at all. So we decided to make a couple of shorts anyway. So the funny thing is, like, we just got a camera and just some crappy sound equipment and just kind of to put something together. So I think we've done 3 or 4 really short kind of things. One of them's going around now as well. And it just involved me being an old granny, because we couldn't cast an old granny. We couldn't do that. So like, you could only see the side and the back of me. And I couldn't really quite do the voice. So we had to get, the pharmacist from Expiry Date. This guy recorded himself doing an old granny voice, and we put it on there. We had to work with what we had. So there was the delivery guy, Luke, the producer. He was the delivery guy delivering food to this old granny. I had to be the old granny. She traps him in the attic. She just wants some company. Like, she was so alone during COVID. So it was pretty much, it was such an improvised thing. Filming in general has been really hard. Like, we don't have our cinematographers. We don't have like anything really, so for a couple of shots I literally had to get some of my kids' Legos and Duplo, and I built a little they've got this little train, so I kind of built a tiny little roller for the camera.
Amazing.
The shots were pretty amazing, like, you know, you wouldn't believe it. It cost us nothing, like, and you could think that it was actually a proper thing. And at one point we were filming the attic, I had an old stick and I was just pushing it with an old stick along an old shelf, like, you know, and the attic has no floor, so Luke had to just go around trying to avoid all the holes and everything. Oh, it was mad, but we've been trying to do as much as we could with pretty much we have.
Yeah, it sounds like, yeah, you guys are adapting to what you can.
Yeah, trying at least anyway, yeah.
Awesome. All right, Ashley and Morgan, how about you guys?
I mean, I'm primarily TV film actor, so my industry is shut down. It's not doing anything. Morgan?
Yeah.
I feel super lucky. I just decided to start a 2 years program for screenwriting that I just got into. So writing is the only thing that you can do whenever. So I'm just working my butt off in my home.
Awesome. Yeah, so have you guys Ashley and Morgan, you mentioned that you guys were able to screen in front of a live audience. Have all of you been able to at least show film in front of a live audience, or has it all been virtual? Mariah, have you guys been able to show live?
No, there was 1 or 2 drive-in theaters, but they were in the Midwest. We didn't unfortunately get to go to that. But no, we haven't seen anyone watch it, which is kind of sad. But
Oh man, yeah. Karolina, have you been able to see it with a live audience?
Yeah, no, not at all, unfortunately. It's kind of impossible right now. I don't know when's the next time. Like, there was this lovely festival here just on the other side of the country as well, and we're really, really itching to go, and we wanted to go to Texas and all over the place, and unfortunately just stuck at home. We've got Texas here.
Yep. Oh man. Yeah, so Ashley and Morgan, so how long have you guys been on the festival circuit then? The fact that you guys were able to show it live.
I mean, it screened 2016. It was like in competitions for like things that were first runs, and I just sort of threw it back into things that didn't require it to be a first run because it was quarantine, and I was just like, not quarantine, but like I was just like, I don't know, and it was pretty good. I was like, I'm from Texas. We're women.
Perfect. Women Texas Film Festival.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
That's right. That's my home state. Like, they'll like it.
I love it. That's a great reason.
Yeah.
Oh. Awesome. Well, cool. So we've got just a few minutes left. Is there anything that like you guys want to discuss or wish I had asked? Obviously, oh wait, we have something. Oh, hey, so Jay, who's helping us, said that he's the projectionist at the drive-ins for indie shorts, and Out of Stock was a huge hit with their audience.
Oh,
so, yay!
Thank you.
That's awesome.
I was so tempted to buy a ticket and fly out there and see it in the drive-in, but then if I flew, I wouldn't have a car. So,
right, and then what do you do? Oh man.
I have a funny anecdote from
go for it.
from Out of Stock. I just want to mention this because I ate a really bad like hard-boiled egg last night and my stomach was hurting so much. But this is going to tie in. But on the last day of our shoot, our main actor Paul, as we were filming the final attack scene on him while he's sitting in his throne, he had food poisoning that whole time, and it was such an awful situation. That was probably the worst thing we had to deal with because he just wasn't 100% to be able to do the role. But then it also kind of helped because he just felt a little more gross during it, I guess. But also everyone on set was prepared with like trash bags just in case he wasn't feeling well. And he just kept trying to push through and be like, I could do it. But that was me last night. Like, I can wake up in the morning. I can do this Q&A. And I feel great now. So just thought I'd want to share that.
Yeah, I'm glad that you guys pushed through.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything else that you wish I had asked or wanted to say, Karolina or Morgan and Ashley? Awkward Zoom silence.
Maybe if you want to talk a bit about the festival.
Yeah, yeah. So this is the 5th year of the Women Texas Film Festival, and I'm a Dallas filmmaker, and so I remember when Justina launched this film festival, we were so excited because the festival itself was, and sort of like the direction of the festival were things that push the envelope and films that wouldn't normally get to audiences, and especially in our area, in the Dallas area. And so we've typically had it at a couple of different theaters, but one that we've come back to a lot is a theater called the Texas Theater. And that has a lot of Dallas history with Lee Harvey Oswald. And so it's been very cool to see the festival play at this theater, continue to grow so much over the years. And as we were saying, the festival having to adapt in this COVID area and come online has been great to see. But yeah, of course, we wish that all of you guys could come in and experience Dallas and our great film community, because I think that's the thing that's really special about this area are our audience members, and the people who really love film and the people that show up for this festival. It's super special. So yeah,
This is one of the festivals I really, really wanted to come to if we got accepted, because back when I was a young high school, middle school, even filmmaker in Kansas, Justina was really involved with Tallgrass Film Festival there. So I got to actually watch her start the Women in Texas Film Festival. And I've always wanted to go because I looked up to her so much when I was a young filmmaker in Kansas with big dreams.
Amazing. Justina, I hope you're listening at this moment, because that's awesome. Yeah, John and Justina are both such pillars in this area, and have been so involved in so many film festivals that it's been cool to see them sort of be able to form this festival sort of from the ground up. So that's awesome.
I'll come out one day I'll make it out there.
Good. Awesome. Well, we only have a few minutes left, but I just wanted to thank you guys. Thank you for sort of, from all over the country coming and signing in and whatnot. So really, really appreciate it, and hope that your films continue to screen in some form or fashion in front of lots of people, so that everyone can enjoy and get a little bit of a break from the crazy by being able to watch and enjoy and laugh with you guys. So thank you so much. Anything you guys want to say to the audience out there that's watching as a sign off?
Well, thank you very much for having us in the first place, and really appreciate the selection and all this. It's a great experience, and especially for a film that's not primarily in English language. It's a massive honor. So thank you very much from everybody here.
Amazing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you. And I was really looking forward to coming home and eating barbecue.
Yeah, dude. Barbecue and Tex-Mex.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh yeah, it'd be great. I'd go home, see some family, and have some fun in Dallas. But it was nice to meet all of y'all. Thank y'all for having us.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. I don't know how to end this officially, so I think we're done. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, guys.